For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
It's just y'all. Welcome into another edition of the Dumb Marks Podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Your host, your boy Steve, along with my three co-hosts, me, myself, and I. I'm Donald, I'm Jason, and definitely not Chris after last night's after. I'm still hot about that jag off.
That's why you didn't sleep, huh?
Those of you that don't know what a jag off is, that's a Pittsburgh localized term for an asshole, to the 10th degree of an asshole. So yeah, welcome everybody.
I know what I am.
Long time no talk. You guys good? Ready to pod on this muggy as shit Saturday. It is. I do not miss
the muggy. I didn't even go outside yet.
I haven't been out either.
It's like you walk outside and it just like your clothes just stick to you automatically. Like it's just that nasty out. So
keep your ass indoors.
Yeah, keep your butt in the AC if you're not around in a swimming pool. Who knows how long that'll last? It's supposed to be a rain out day here in Pittsburgh. I'm so sick of the rain. I don't remember a July being as rainy as this month has been.
And it's been hard rain too. Like coming down hard rain.
Love good napping weather.
Anytime's the good napping time for you. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the time of day, what season it is, what day of the week it is. Nap time is just any time for you.
When you guys can't get a hold of me, I'm pretty much probably napping.
After the show's over, probably napping.
Yeah, straight.
Yeah, absolutely. I have my glasses on this week. I'm having a huge migraine right now, so I'm playing hurt, lack of sleep. My head is pounding. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning and got a large Charlie cold brew for some caffeine. Hopefully that'll help my head. As you can see, I'm damn near done with it, and my head is still pounding. So
they're still doing that.
Oh yeah, that's on the menu for good. I asked them this morning whenever I went in. So
just drop them out. He's not going to make it.
I'll battle through. I'll battle through for the fans. I'll battle through for the listeners. All right. With all that being said, everybody's good. So what do we got to kick off the show this week? Intro wise, let's get into some of the other topics. I know for me, myself, and I, that may be the common theme of the show today. The announcement was made. Everybody that's around our age, go out, get yourself a pair of buttered Timbs, an Avrex jacket, pack of Black and Milds with the tips, and an extra large, extra baggy, crispy white tee, because the Locks versus Dipset has been announced for the next versus battle on Tuesday, August. What was the date? August 3rd. Tuesday, August 3rd. Dipset versus the Locks. Who's excited for it? Who's going to tune in? Who can give a shit?
I'm indifferent. I don't care.
I can give a shit. Kind of want to see the Locks, but wasn't really a Dipset fan.
There's only been a handful that I've actually tuned in for.
I was a huge Locks fan. Huge fan of the Locks together as a group. Huge fan of them individually. Styles P just dropped an album last Friday. Ghostin'. Really good album. He has not fallen off at all. Still the same styles that he's always been. And Jada is one of my favorite rappers of all time, so I'm super excited for that. I like Dipset Diplomats. Wasn't a huge fan of them as much as other people were. But Mike Jones has put out some really good projects lately. Cam is going to be Cam. I wonder if he'll show up with the pink fur on in Madison Square Garden. So I'm excited to see what it'll look like in the garden. It just sucks that it's on a Tuesday night. Like I need this to be on a Friday or a Saturday. Like a Tuesday night, middle of the week. I'm still going to tune in, but I wish it was on a Friday or a Saturday night. So, but that's all I have for the intro. As far as stuff that caught my eye this week, we'll get into Loki next week. Big breakdown. Give everybody another week to get caught up on it and watch it. We'll go into that. Maybe we'll just cover that in the intro next week by itself because we can deep dive that, and that'll take up some time. I know there's a difference of opinions on this panel. So,
and still a lot of questions, I think.
I went back and watched those 2 episodes we were talking about last night, like to get some information. So it's coming clear to me.
Marvel. I mean, strap your seats in because it's going to be a long ride. They're getting ready to start hitting the ground full speed here with movies as well as shows on Disney Plus. So if you're a huge Marvel fan, Phase 4 looks like it is setting up to be very exciting just off of what we got so far from the series that are on Disney Plus. What else you guys want to cover in the intro this week?
I just have one gaming thing. Mario 64 for the N64 sold for $1.5 million.
What?
A sealed copy. Yep, so
That's still new in the box?
New in the box.
And Zelda was like, what, 2 days before it?
2 days before that at $897,000.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know why. Who knows?
I'd open
now, now that sealed box thing, I'm kind of skeptical about that because I could buy Saran wrap right at the store and seal some boxes and be like, "Hey, it's sealed."
Everybody can buy that shrink wrap.
Yeah.
Well, was it verified by who's the service that like verifies and authenticates like the Pokemon cards?
It was something like Heritage something, but their company's a little iffy about stuff too. So it's official, but a lot of people don't believe it.
Hey, I got a ton of those Pokemon cards upstairs that are in sleeves from the original first series. So I'm gonna have to go take those looked at because I might be sitting on a couple G's to where I'm saying deuces.
Yeah,
roll out.
It's like a couple weeks ago I found a Derek Jeter rookie card I didn't even know I had. So
yeah, look them up.
Nice.
Look them up and see. All that stuff's in right now. Take it, get it authenticated, and sell that shit.
Sell it.
It is going on right now.
So, like, where do you go now these days? Because, like, there used to be card shops everywhere when we were growing up, and
there's still a card shop over by me, over in the plaza where Duffy's is at. There's a card store over there that you can go in and talk to and figure out where to send the stuff to. Yeah, but it's not like how like you said, Chris, growing up, man, those were all over the place.
Everywhere.
Spent
I
a
mean,
ton
you
of time
still
in
get
the
them at your
morning.
Walmart and Targets. Is not Target anymore, but online. But you can still go in the stores and pick them up. But
at least whenever you went to the card shop, like they had the books, like they would help you out, try to figure out like if it was worth anything. Like
never trusted them.
Like chapter 1 down in Forest Hills. Remember that?
Anyway,
What was
trying to get it off of you for cheap.
Chris, what was the name of the one in Swissville over by Arby's over there?
I remember
that one.
He was one of the kids we went to high school with. It was his grandfather that owned that. I don't remember, but he was over by Arby's. Then he ended up moving over by Rudy's.
Yeah,
that's where he ended up being at. I used to go there all the time, both locations.
Yeah. So that's crazy. That amount of money for a sealed video game is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nuts. But as a 6-7-year-old, whenever you get that, you're not thinking,
"Oh no!" You're thinking playing it right away.
Get money for these?
GameStop will give you $250.
You ain't getting nothing for them.
You get $250 from GameStop for that whole
thing. Yeah,
sealed. Yeah,
sealed. Yeah.
No selling for full price.
And then, like I said yesterday, I can get $55 for that. Whenever I buy it used.
That was like some guy. He had a PS5. He played it for a week and took it to a GameStop and see how much he could get for it, and they will only give him $150 for it.
Oh no!
That's crazy.
What kind of depreciation is that?
He just wanted to see what they said. He was like, "Yep, typical GameStop."
You saw
That's
that
where
on Facebook
that's where
Marketplace after that.
that's worse depreciation than driving a Kia off a lot. That's like you get more money back on a Kia Optima than you do on that PS5. That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. I can't fathom that. Hey, kudos to that guy for getting that much money for a sealed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, unreal.
I got the same game in my closet right now. No box though, but that's a game.
It plays the same, right?
Yes, it does.
Exactly the same.
What else you guys come across this week?
One of the weirdest things I saw this week. Who remembers the movie Billy Madison?
Of course.
Does everybody remember the scene where the kid wets his pants and then Billy throws the water on, try to act cool and say, all the kids pee their pants my age?
Right.
Well, there is now a wet pants denim to where it looks like you pissed yourself. Jeans that are wet all the time.
Real life?
Real life. I'm thinking the kid from Billy Madison probably grew up and created this company, but
What are we doing?
I have no idea.
Just people throwing anything out there just to make something.
Somebody will buy it.
Oh, of course.
I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wet pants denim. That's the company.
Next.
I got nothing. I got nothing for that.
As soon as I saw that, the lady from Billy Madison popped up. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Which one of those runs there is your favorite? You got Billy Madison, you got Happy Gilmore, you got the Water Boy. Any other ones that I'm leaving out?
Was
Like,
Mr. Deeds around that time?
He had that run there that was like
Little Nicky.
No, I wasn't a fan of Little Nicky.
Me neither. But that
what was the one with the
Wedding Singer, 51st Dates.
where he was rich, inherited all the money.
Mr. Deeds.
Deeds.
I like
The guy
that.
with the black
That was
foot.
funny.
The guy with the black foot. I gotta go Happy Gilmore for me.
Yeah, I saw Happy Gilmore like 10 times in the movie theater.
Oh, I love that movie.
It was like every weekend I was at Showcase East seeing that.
Big Daddy. Or is it Big Daddy or Baby?
Big Daddy.
Big
Big
Daddy.
Big Daddy. Oh yeah, I forgot about Big Daddy.
Big
Yeah,
Daddy.
that was good. That was good too.
He just continues to make money. The quality's not the same, but he continues to make money.
He's still with Netflix. So
Yep.
speaking of Netflix, if I told you The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot was in the movie, you think it'd go straight to Netflix?
I did know that one ahead of time, but
Yeah.
It's called Red Notice, and it'd be out, I think, October.
Huh.
I think it's November 12th. That's star power right there.
Did you see the trailer for Free Guy?
I did see that. Yeah.
I thought the movie was out.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, but the trailer announcing the movie was him dressed up as Deadpool and Korg.
Yeah.
It was them two doing.
That's what it was.
It was them two doing a trailer release breakdown of Ryan Reynolds' new movie. It was hilarious. Hilarious. But the Free Guy movie, to me, it's like a combination of like the Truman Show meets Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how that.
That's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison.
Yeah. So
I like at the end. It was like, "Can I get in that Disney?" He was like, "Check your emails."
yeah. He's like, "How do I get into the MCU?" He goes, do a couple things, get your hopes all built up, and then have a complete meltdown and letdown, and then check your email." Tremendous.
I have Scream 5 finished wrapping up.
I don't care. I don't care. Don't need another Scream movie.
MTV
That's
Cribs
the
is
same
coming
people.
back.
Screen 5. I didn't even know that. She lied to me then 2 years ago.
Baby, she in it.
MTV Cribs is coming back.
August 11th. So you get.
That show was fake to begin with. I mean, Ja Rule. They were talking about Ja on what was it? I think it was Roy and Maul's podcast, formerly of the Joe Budden podcast. But them two were talking like, yo, you know, MTV Cribs jumped the shark whenever Ja Rule didn't even know where to go in his own house because it wasn't his house. Like,
I mean, I'm hoping they make this one more realistic. You got Ashley Simpson. I don't know where she's been.
I still like that with Jermaine Dupri when they did his Chris, and the IRS was like, "Yep, we're going to take everything now since you owe us all these taxes."
Big Sean, JoJo Siwa, Kathy Griffin, Martha Stewart, Swaggy P, Snooki,
Don't care.
Rick Ross, Brian Lockley.
Redman had the greatest Cribs episode ever whenever he just had all his money in shoe boxes throughout his crib. That was the best episode of Cribs, was Redman.
You don't need to see Rick Ross if you already seen Coming to America.
That's very true. Very true.
Yeah, no interest.
Then Disney Plus is remaking Turner and Hooch.
I saw that.
I think that started yesterday.
I just seen a commercial for it yesterday. I'm not sure. It may have.
It might have, but yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I love Turner and Hooch. That was a great movie.
I saw the trailer. It looks like the guy that's playing is Tom Hanks' son.
Okay.
So kind of like a continuation.
Snacks this week. The only thing I saw was Pringles Wavy coming out with a pineapple habanero flavor.
I'll try that.
Sounds good.
So
yeah.
It sounds pretty fire. I still haven't been able to find the Wendy's spicy chicken ones, Jay.
Still?
Nope.
I'll pick up a bottle if I find one again.
Nope.
I think there's like 2 on our fridge at work in the break room. It's about to be mine.
You're just gonna take those.
I'm about to be that guy, man.
Anything else in the intro?
I saw for snacks. I talked last week about Carnation Instant Breakfast, like cereal milk. They announced this week they're doing a Cinnabon flavored milk now. Sour Patch Kids is going to have a watermelon popsicle out, so that could be something interesting for the summertime.
The watermelon Sour Patch are the best Sour Patch out, hands down. No, there's no argument against that.
And the one snack that I do not want, I sent out to you guys earlier in the week. There's a ice cream shop in New Jersey that's doing Kraft mac and cheese flavor. What Karen invented this? It's bad enough you're putting raisins in potato salad. Now you're turning mac and cheese into an ice cream flavor. Are you kidding me?
It's like a beer brewery, just making any flavor of anything.
I mean, it's bad enough. Like you walk down the aisle now with the box mac and cheese, you see like Cheetos got flaming hot mac and cheese, and I'm like, what?
Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I ate Kraft growing up as a kid, but like once I hit a certain age, I just stopped
that was
box mac and cheese. Or like if it ain't my wife's baked mac and cheese, like I'm not eating mac and cheese.
I stopped caring when healthy food had flaming hot versions. I need flaming hot veggie chips.
I got a couple just quick TV things. This week, Amazon signed with Norman Lear to put like pretty much his whole catalog of TV on Amazon and IMDb TV. So you can now watch All in the Family, 227, Maude, One Day at a Time, Sanford and Son on Amazon or IMDb. Jeffersons and Sanford are coming later this year. So,
I love Sanford and Son to this day. I love Sanford and Son. Such a great show.
I hadn't watched 227 in so long. That was the first thing I put on the other day. ABC and NBC, they announced that their fall programs will start back on Monday, September 20th. CBS and Fox haven't said anything yet. A shocker this week from NBC. We had talked that Law & Order was going to be pretty much running the show on Thursday nights on NBC, and they pulled the plug on For the Defense. So that is not going to be a TV show, even though they gave it straight to series release.
Oh, wow.
So they said, for whatever reason...
Will they put it on Peacock or just not air it at all?
It's just getting plug pulled completely.
Wow.
So right now, the first couple of weeks of the fall season, SVU will do like 2 episodes, and then the next week, Organized Crime will like do 2 episodes. So they'll just they'll still be taking over the 3-hour block. They'll just take turns on it. It did say that Law and Order and NBC are going to work to develop another new series, so we'll see what comes with that. But I'm really surprised. I was kind of looking forward to that one. Yeah,
I wonder what happened there behind the scenes to get that yanked, because normally his stuff they don't pull his stuff.
No, so, I mean, he's had a couple that didn't last, but
but they at least got through. They at least got through one season.
Yeah,
or majority of one season. So, all right. The only other thing, TV movie wise, maybe the greatest trailer of all time got dropped this week. Cobra Kai season 4, Netflix.
That was
out for the end of the year.
Trailer drop for it. I didn't even watch it yet.
Unbelievable. That the goosebumps and the hair stood up. I cannot wait. It's gonna be so good.
It was a good trailer.
So good.
You might have to drop me out so I can watch it right now.
Yeah, just go on YouTube. Just mute your mic so we don't get taken down.
We can't share that one.
Yeah, can't share that one. Just mute your mic and then come back 2.5 minutes later. But yeah, go check that out if you haven't watched it yet, for sure. So, all right, that's it.
Let's get into it.
All right, let's hop in the bell. Let's go. All right, bell this week. For those of you guys that didn't join us last night for our double prediction after dark special, we broke down Money in the Bank and Slammiversary. We gave the prediction shows for those 2 pay-per-views. Slammiversary again tonight, Money in the Bank tomorrow night. So if you want to check that out, go hit up our YouTube page, watch that. It'll get you caught up on everything from main roster and Impact Wrestling for the week. So with that being said, we got some time here to go a little deeper into the world of NXT and AEW this week. Where do you guys want to start off with NXT on Tuesday? Actually, before we get into NXT and AEW, let's back up. Let's back up to last Sunday. Ring of Honor, Best of the World. Fantastic show. Huge success. A lot of talk on Twitter. I believe they might have been trending at one point. Saw a couple issues with Honor Club. People having with that not working. But for the most part, as far as the wrestling goes on the show, I didn't see one bad thing about that pay-per-view from Sunday night. The 2 matches that stood out were Tony Deppen and Dragon Lee, and then Jonathan Gresham against Mike Bennett. Jonathan Gresham and Mike Bennett absolutely deserve to be in match of the year talk right now as we are midway through July. I'll throw that one into the ring of the hat for match of the year.
Was that for the Pure Championship?
Yeah. Pure title match. Yep. Fantastic. Jonathan Gresham, also, in my opinion, and this was, what I saw a lot of too, deserves to be up there as being discussed as one of the top 5 best workers in all of pro wrestling. So if you haven't watched Ring of Honor, you're missing out. They've put on a good product since they've come back. The Pure title tournament kicked it off for them, but they've been very steady and very good since they've come back. So fans were in attendance. We had the debut of the hot mess Chelsea Green. Got announced and pulled in for the Ring of Honor women's title tournament. That announcement was made, so that was a big surprise. And then Bandito defeated Rush for the ROH World Heavyweight title, so ending Rush's almost 500-day title reign. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So if you haven't watched it, go back on demand, seek it out. It'll be well worth your time. Well worth your time. Very enjoyable, high quality wrestling. And if you haven't watched Ring of Honor, you'll see some people there that'll get your attention and make you tune in on a weekly basis moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely go back and try to rewatch that. That was on my list. I just didn't get around to it this week.
Yeah, Yeah, no disappointment here. Yeah, if you like wrestling, you there's nothing negative that you can say about that show. So, all right. With all that being said, let's jump into Tuesday night NXT. What do you guys want to start with?
Cross and
Main event,
I guess.
Cross and Gargano main evented the show. Samoa Joe was the special enforcer referee. I like the story they told with them two, going against Joe's authority the entire match.
Yeah.
Falling on the outside, not listening to him. Cross gave him the old FU at one point. The match itself was good. I was surprised it didn't go a little. I thought it was a little short time wise. I know they got the extension and went over the crossed over the 10 o'clock hour like NXT's been doing the past couple weeks here. But overall, I'm not mad at the match that they put on between them two.
Yeah, no.
no.
Where do you think this goes with Cross?
See, that's the thing. Like they left you with a cliffhanger, which is rare in WWE these days. And they left you with several cliffhangers throughout the show. Like, the Joe aspect of things, you saw him and
damn near everybody.
He done face off again. So like you had that. Obviously, the show went off the air with Cross choking Joe out. You had Adam Cole call out Joe before Bronson Reed stepped up and answered Adam Cole. I thought Bronson's line was, for as good as Adam Cole is and as naturally as he sounds on the mic, I thought Bronson's line was more script written and read. What do you say? Everybody considers you to be the golden boy in NXT. I see you as my golden opportunity. It's like, come on, I don't.
Maybe it was a test.
He's getting prepared for that main roster.
Yeah, been getting some dark matches. Maybe they were trying to mount him some promos.
So, yeah, but
I've seen people saying this is how you take the belt off Cross for attacking official, but that'd be just a terrible storyline altogether.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like you strip him and then you do some type of tournament, and then he goes up to the main roster. But I don't want to see him get stripped. Does this mean Joe's cleared? The big thing about Joe was he couldn't get cleared. WWE main roster would not clear him.
Or does Joe had to bring somebody in?
Huh?
Or does Joe bring somebody in?
Who's Joe going to bring in though?
Maybe somebody new.
I don't. There's
somebody
nobody.
has muscle.
Joe needs muscle.
But if he's not allowed to wrestle.
But if he's not allowed to wrestle, then why have the stipulation that he can get physical with the wrestlers that are getting out of line? So
it did him getting choked out.
Yeah, you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have him just be the enforcer and choke people out all the time, and then not expect to get retaliated against.
Hey, I'd enjoy to see that. Anybody can get it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't disagree. Like I love Joe putting people to sleep. Yeah. Like that's the Joe that I love. But if from a storyline perspective, if he's not going to be cleared to go in the ring, then why even have him get physical at all? Because there's never going to be a payoff for it. So you can't have him continue to put these people to sleep if there's never going to be a payoff for it.
If everybody's scared to hit him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to go Cross Joe and Joe be the one to take the belt off Cross and that's Cross's send off to the main roster, I'm perfect. But I just don't know. If Joe couldn't get cleared on the main roster, what changed to where he gets cleared on NXT?
Yeah. Same company, so.
Right. Unless the main roster just didn't want to clear him because they just
had nothing for him.
Yeah, and wanted him to stick to being a commentator. A la Randy Savage.
Yeah, it's possible.
We don't want to use you. We want you to be a commentator, and then, Savage left and went to WCW and wrestled for a couple more years. So I don't know. It's just interesting from that standpoint. But there's a lot of different not to tie into a Loki aspect, but there's a lot of different timelines going on in NXT right now with stories being told surrounding Joe. Which is a good thing, because the more Joe I get, the happier I am.
But there's only one Joe.
The other thing that caught my eye this week that I'm super pumped for, I like that. And then Ciampa coming out of nowhere and just cold clocking the shit out of Dunn. Like, give me Thatcher and Ciampa against Dunn and Lorcan. That will be a banger of a match.
Yeah, that'll definitely be stiff for sure.
You gotta say that for a takeover. You can't give that on TV.
And then the other thing that I'm looking forward to, and this is just to see where they go and how they're going to present them, but I like Bobby Fish stepping up to Diamond Mine and claiming the open challenge, and then Malcolm Bivens stepping in and saying, you don't get Roddy, you get Tyler first. So I like that. So again, you have multiple storylines going for multiple levels on the card.
I like Tyler Rust in this role. When it was just him and Bivens, I was just like, yeah.
It did, nah.
Yeah, it did nothing. But now something.
Now it'll be interesting to see how he changes up his style too, because this is more like shooter-esque. Like, this fits Roddy because of like the backbreakers and the suplexes and everything else that Roddy does. Yeah. So does Tyler transition into that mold as well? So yeah, I'm happy with that. The question mark of the night, well, one of the biggest question marks of the night, what the hell was Mandy Rose doing on NXT?
She's officially traded.
Is that the case? Like, she's working
her for Aaliyah, and now Aaliyah's on Raw.
Well, I know Aaliyah had dark matches last night before SmackDown. So like, if you're Mandy, I mean, you were just having Mandy and Dana go back and forth with Natty and Tamina. So now you get rid of one of those. Like, nothing against Mandy, but I just don't see like the reason why, unless the rumor, like the innuendo that was going around was that some of these individuals that are getting called up are going to be doing both. So like, I heard Knox and Shotzi will be doing both. They just strictly won't be main roster talent. So Mandy's going to be doing both. Okay. But yeah, just yeah. Her showing up was a surprise. And then I did like her interaction with Frankie Monet in that, towards the end of the show. So again, leaving openings for storylines to get you to want to tune back in.
Then Xia Li called her shot next for Raquel.
I'm surprised they went that way, given the fact that she just cold clocked Mercedes and left her unconscious in the ring.
Take somebody else out.
Yeah.
You got to do something with Raquel. You just can't be in the tag, or can't be tag all your life, and you're women's champ.
So NXT Tuesday night did, I want to say it was 705. I think that was one of their highest rated shows in a long time. It's one of their best shows that they've had in a long time. Like, I feel like the previous week, and the Bash like said it, that was good. But now, like, to me, I feel like if they continue to carry this on, I'll start to feel like how I did, where I wanted to tune in every Wednesday on the network to watch NXT. Like, where they had to run with Sammy and KO and all them, like, leading to Balor, Nakamura, like that run there. I feel like they can hit that stride and continue on down that path to have it now be these characters and these stars doing it. But I feel like they're on the cusp of hitting that stride where NXT is going to be a can't miss each and every single week. Which you couldn't say it for a while there. It was like, if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, it wasn't that big of a deal. So, anything else from Tuesday night?
Your thoughts on this tournament? Are they going to run it one match every week?
I have no idea.
Long ass tournament.
Yeah, I really
it's only 8 people. It's only 8 though.
It was entertaining though. So
yeah, match wasn't Duke Hudson. I said last week had the name of a porn star from a Boogie Nights, Burt Reynolds production. Liked his size, liked what he did. Glad to see that they're doing something with him, considering he was that random tag match with Shane Thorne on the main roster before Retribution, and then you haven't seen him since.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh,
yeah. So that was nice to actually see him go. They got. Listen, there's people in there that I want to see. Like I said before, Blake Christian, formerly known as Blake Christian, I forget what his name now is in NXT. Is somebody. Odyssey Jones is another one that I'm looking forward to. So
is that young Mark Henry?
Way more athletic though. He's more like Keith Lee from an athletic standpoint.
Yeah. Why did they have him debut on 205 Live?
Who? Odyssey?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Made no sense.
He was on 205 Live?
Yeah. He debuted on there.
I don't know.
205.
He looks a good 205. So he made the weight.
But no, they gotta do something with it because there's stakes for this tournament. The winner gets a future title shot. So you know what I mean? Didn't say what belt, so we could get them challenging for the North American Cruiserweight or the world title, the NXT Heavyweight Championship, depending on who wins it. I think it'll be more surprising from a good quality standpoint than what most people are expecting. I still don't see how Carmelo Hayes doesn't win this thing though.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I mean, if this tournament's anything like the last one, we're gonna be talking about these guys for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So.
And I wouldn't have thought that going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. When the brackets were announced and you're looking at it, it's like,
who are these guys? Who are you?
Right. So yeah, but no, I hope they don't just string it out one at a time. Like you said, that'll
that would be long.
So maybe the first round you do because it's 4 matches. You know what I mean? You do 4 weeks, and then after that you do semi, and then you have the final. So it's a 6-week long tournament. That'll help, take up some time and let stuff breathe, but doesn't drag on too long. So,
because I don't want you to forget about the people it being too long.
Yeah, you don't want Hudson here have his first match, and then if he makes it to the finals, you don't,
semis won't be for another 4 weeks.
Right. Yeah. So. No, but NXT, well done. Like I said, a lot of shows went off with a cliffhanger. Going to draw me back in for this Tuesday to see what happens with Joe and Cross, and then the other things along the way. I think the best part of the night was Index. Indy Hartwell coming back out, scooping Dexter Loomis off the ring apron like he did to her last week, and then purposely falling down so she could. Get a kiss, and Candace coming out and stopping it again. So
she's on point every week.
Tremendous.
Yep.
I was not a huge Indy Hartwell fan.
No.
But once she got put in with the way and seeing her develop in this storyline with Loomis and everything else, like I am completely sold on Indy now.
Same here.
Kind of go off of something that you said before. I saw Austin Theory had a dark match yesterday before SmackDown. So hopefully, if they're testing him out, hopefully he'll be one of those guys that goes back and forth, because I would hate to see them like break up the way already.
Yeah.
Or change it up.
All right. Is that it for NXT?
Yeah.
All right. Now to my favorite show of the week. This past week was Dynamite. Start to finish, probably the best Dynamite that I've watched in a long time.
It's high praise.
That's how good the show was.
I thought it was, for the most part, entertaining start to finish.
It was all right.
For the most part. Didn't really care.
What made it just all right? Or
I didn't really care about the Christian Matt Hardy match. That really didn't do anything for me. But other than that, I mean,
but they turned the crowd in that match. The crowd didn't want to see that match. They weren't into that match. And then when Christian jumped off the top rope over the ring post and landed on Hardy, like they completely flipped that crowd around in that match.
Just the match didn't interest me. But overall, I said it. I thought the crowd was great all night. And I thought the show was a solid show for the most part the whole way through.
To me, that FTW was too sloppy.
What was too sloppy?
That FTW match. Nothing in that match deserved it. This is awesome. Nothing.
I enjoyed the match. I think I
enjoyed the match.
It was everything just looked sloppy to me.
The match was good. That was more storytelling than match.
Sloppy wrestling? Is storytelling? No.
The whole swerve and them taking the belt off Cage and kicking him out. That's what I mean by that. Like, when I look back on that match for Wednesday night, I don't. The first thing I don't think about the wrestling. I think about the story that they told with the faction and the group and the swerve and everything else. Like, and then you look back at it and you see the swerve, and then you look back and you think like, okay, like look how Hook was dressed, look how Hobbs was dressed. Like they were flashier than like how Starks is flashy all the time. Like they're like little things. Taz leading it off saying Starks didn't want to be talked to. I didn't have any interaction with him. I went in and talked to Cage. He was open to conversate with me back and forth. Like that was storytelling 101.
And then what do you do with Cage? Because he came off more like the heel in this.
So Cage has an issue where Cage does moves in the ring to get you to ooh and ah because of his size and what he can do. Because he can do all the flips and shit that he does like a cruiserweight does. But to me, I think his biggest issue is that there's nothing that makes you want to connect with him besides just being a big guy that does cool moves.
He's got the look. There's no doubt about that.
He's going to have to find something that gets the people invested in him. Because Ricky Starks, like, if you just look at them two based off of that match, Starks, like, charisma, can talk, you know what I mean? There's reasons to get invested in Ricky Starks, whether you like him or hate him. But Cage, it's just like you look at him and you go, yo, you're big as shit, and you can do fucking moonsaults, power move, like you can do crazy shit in the ring, but like, why do I need to care about you? To me, is his biggest problem.
Like, to me, you could have kept him with Taz, and Ricky and the other guys could have been their own thing.
Because he needs that mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Starks is fine on his own. He doesn't need the mouthpiece.
So, I mean, we'll see if this was the right call the way that they did it. You know, but yeah. But
when he's on the mic telling the story every week, that helps, though. Like, I like whenever he comes out and tries to continue the story with the announce team.
Right. What else has made it okay that I can play devil's advocate and counterpoint to your point?
You know I hate Moxley, so
I think that was the right match to start the show, though.
Absolutely.
Got the crowd going.
Just get the crowd in it, yeah.
Crowd in it. But it was all forearms.
I mean, it's an IWGP United States title, so it's going to be stiff.
You got to change the style.
Yeah,
it's strong style. That you
it was all forearms, and I hate Moxley, so
I can care less about the two who fought, but whatever. It is what it is.
Are you excited for the Texas Death Match
with Moxley and Archer?
Yeah.
No.
Their match in New Japan when Moxley won the belt off him was tremendous.
Just Archer does nothing for me. He don't.
Same.
I think part of the problem with you guys is
like
I rely on me, myself, and I. Darby Allin, Darby.
We haven't got part of that segment yet.
Yeah, we didn't get more.
We will get into Darby
on that later.
That crazy mother trucker. He is wearing his bump card thin.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into that because I want to get more into Darby. Hashtag push Darby. They have it. They pushed them. They pushed them. What do you mean push Darby?
This is a Kenny Omega fan here, so
there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Sammy
was good. I did like Sammy.
Yeah, going back to Moxley and Anderson starting off the show. I thought that was great. Then after the match, you had what? The FTW match?
Yeah.
Was Cody and Malachi Black, was that in between?
I think that was after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there was another talking segment before that too. Andrade. Was that before FTW whenever he said he wanted that triangle?
It might have been.
What do you guys think about that?
Interesting.
Yeah, it surprised me.
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's looking for them as far as wanting to fight them.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I took it as he want to be come with me.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
The Death Square.
Los Ingonobles.
One more, you get the Death Star.
Uno, muerte cuatro.
I wouldn't mind seeing them four together as a group. But I don't know if you could have Andrade and I don't know if Pac needs to take that back seat and play second fiddle in a group. Like if you're looking at Death Triangle right now, you would say Pac's the leader of it, right?
Yeah. But you just brought Andrade in. Let him do his own thing. Then you got to. I mean, get yourself.
I do agree with that. Yeah.
Hey, but everybody
got to get paired off. No.
If he's looking for them because he wants to pick a fight or whatever, however they decide to play it out, I'll take him in matches with all three of those guys.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So I know Lucha Brothers both work in AAA. I don't think Pac does, but if they get Pac in AAA, and this just becomes a stable for every company that they're in, I'm cool with that. I don't know if I necessarily see it just to do it on AEW and not do it down AAA.
Right. All right. Cody and Malachi Black. Thoughts? Chris, I know you tweeted out you enjoyed the whole
Undertaker Shawn Michaels symbolism.
That's all what it is.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 25.
Because they didn't do the real, dark lightness, anything like that. But it was just kind of teasing that a little bit.
I think they gave you just enough to put the hook out there and get you to nibble, but not necessarily latch on yet to get fully invested.
You got time.
I like Black's promo.
I like Cody's. I like both their promos.
You got a month and a half till the next pay-per-view. You got time to build this up.
Well, I mean, if they do it at
this better be at All Out. This cannot be a TV match.
Yeah. Everything now should just be leading to All Out.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah, so I'm good. I'm good with what they did there. Miro. I love Miro. The promo work that this guy is doing right now is amazing. Let me tell you a story about a man that was once rich and powerful, whose wife could do the splits. And he could do them too. Just tremendous. Absolutely tremendous.
Everything he's doing, I'm okay with. Like, this is what I want from him.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the belt?
I was okay with the belt.
I like it.
So,
got rid of the Turner plantation.
The what?
The Turner plantation on the side of the belt. They got rid of the Turner side plates.
You gotta be careful throwing that word plantation. I do that.
But yeah,
no,
I like the belt a lot. Like you said, it looks clean, everything.
So there is a lot of symbolism with the belt, and this goes out to shout her out on Twitter at Maggie_IK. So she explains and breaks down the belt, and each of the things mean on the belt, and it's not that long of a thread, but I'll just read off some of the highlights from it and get your guys' thoughts on it. So the belt itself is basically the Bulgarian flag. The white strap represents spirit and freedom, and it's up to you to figure out what he broke free from. Obviously, WWE, right? She says I'm making assumptions here, but the green represents the beautiful Bulgarian mountains, which outlines his ambition to climb to the top of AEW. Okay, I can buy that. I can only assume he'll continue to wear the red gear. The red represents the blood of our ancestors spilled defending our country. I see this as the blood he's willing to spill, crushing his enemies, as he made perfectly clear in his promo on Wednesday night. And then the side plates. The city of, I don't want to pronounce this because I'm going to get it wrong, but it's Plovdiv. It's his hometown and hers. The wording on it means ancient and eternal. That city is Europe's oldest city in Europe, and the two lines are holding a crown over the 7 hills. The city itself was built on 7 hills. So just interesting backstory there that there's a lot there that represents him, his home country, and just the look overall. I think it's super crispy.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a bigger fan of the white strap belts growing up, like the white Intercontinental title. Warrior had the white heavyweight title there for a while whenever he was running his different color straps. But I don't know, the white belts for some reason I always gravitated towards those.
I have 6 belts. I have never read that much into any of these belts. Or looked at that much reading it.
But I don't think,
Warrior didn't have the meaning in his colored straps. It was just because he needed color.
I thought the white was just for godliness and the green was for money.
Yeah, so a little Bulgarian history lesson there.
I
thought it was just a
different
different
color.
color.
I wasn't sure what they were.
So whenever we get a new TNT champ, we're gonna get a new belt all the time.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, are they going to do this, or is just because this is God's champion, so God's champion deserves his own belt?
We're on 4 different belts.
Well, the first
3.
Still that unfinished.
The first change was due to COVID and then not being able to finish it. So,
I think we'll go back to the black strap after this is done, or keep it the white strap and just change the plates out.
Yeah. So, all right. Before we get into Darby, in the main event here, the other 2 things that I wanted to touch on, which I want to contrast this by comparing it to WWE. Hangman and Omega, stakes added, stipulations added. I thought everybody was really good on the microphone. Page's fire came through. His confidence is fully back. Stepping up to the plate, challenging Kenny for the world title, as well as saying if we beat you guys, then the Dark Order gets a shot at the tag team belts. Anybody have any problems with what was done Wednesday night on the mic between those guys?
Donald, bring up your point.
Just with Omega when he was doing they're not going to say horseshit anymore. They're going to be saying belt collector. Like, come on now.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack when I was in the ring was cringe.
That was my only part that I didn't like. That whenever he started doing the belt collector chant, like it just didn't fit. Like it just kind of felt like thrown off. Other than that, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a good heel move to do.
It is, but the fire between them is like so hot and that stuff. Then you go throw in a cheesy ass line like that.
It's something that's not going to catch on at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fans were eating it up, and then no, they're going to start saying "belt collector,"
and then they booed him. So I mean, it did its purpose.
They'll probably scream "belt collector."
Does this get you? Because we're on the road now, right? We're building to Hangman Omega. This is where this is going. Do you like what they've done so far and kicking it off?
All in with it.
I don't use those words.
Come on, Dave, man. Now he's just trolling.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out because to me, I think they would do this at Fight for the Fallen, have this 5-man elimination match. Obviously for Hangman to get the title shot, Omega is going to have to get pinned. So who pins Omega? How does he get pinned? Or do they do some sort of shenanigans and quote unquote dusty finish to screw over Hangman, and then we get another layer to the story added on for him to actually come up and get his shot at All Out.
I'm calling for an all-out brawl.
You're all in for what?
I'm calling for an all-out brawl. No DR DQ finish
for the elimination match.
Yeah.
You're being a troll now, right?
It turns to a brawl.
That's right.
Everything leads to a brawl.
It's like I'm okay with the match that they're doing. It was just like I just want more focus just on Kenny and Hangman. Yeah. It was like I don't need the Bucks, I don't need the Good Brothers, I don't need Dark Order.
But that's Omega being the
I know what they're doing with it, but as me as a fan, my opinion, I just want those two just focused on each other. I don't need any other excess people in it to, you got to do this to get that. Like, no, just focus on the both of you.
See, I think
they've been trying to hotshot stuff lately. I'm cool with this match taking place because I don't want to see it just be Omega Hangman so early. But so they can actually be in the ring together, but save the one-on-one for.
I think this is a way of them telling the story that Kenny doesn't really want to face Hangman, and Kenny is the one that lacks confidence in this match. Because why do you need to throw that challenge out there?
Yeah.
Why do you need to make it a 5-man match? There's no point. That's the guy that you don't want to face. Because you know what he can do. That was your tag team partner for how long? You were champs for how long? You rode with him in New Japan. You know what I mean? Like all the history and all the backstory. Like that's the one guy that you don't want to see in a one-on-one match. Is where I think they can go with it.
So I could see more Kenny's team dominating Hangman's team because I could see the Dark Order being more expendable to get eliminated quicker than I can with the Elite.
We don't use that phrase around here, Dave.
Long-term booking, absolutely. And it's really been a 2-year-old story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it really has.
Yes, so that's why I just wanted to focus on them and nobody else. Because I know he called a shot and everything, but you don't have to hot shot everything. Yeah. It's just gonna be like, hey, you guys could just go out there and talk. Or one could come on the show one week, the other could come on the show the other week.
But I mean, they've done that the last 2. They've done that the last 2 weeks, and then finally we got Hangman to step up in third week to say, "Hey, the Dark Order is right. I deserve a title shot. I need a title shot. I want a title shot." So, like, they gave you that the past 2 weeks, and now we're hitting the next chapter in the story of, okay, now you got to overcome this obstacle to get to me. It's no different than a video game when you're going towards the final boss and you got to do whatever else is in front of you before you get to the final boss.
Oh, I don't play long-term stories.
So yeah, I was okay with that when Hangman say, "Yeah, I want your shot" and all that stuff, and Omega be like, "Yeah, you're still not worth my time," and just turn around and just leave, just still leave it hanging like that. But now you have to implement the Bucks, the Brothers, the Dark Order.
So
I just don't like the I just don't like the extra around it. That's for me.
Agreed.
Now,
Hangman had a line this week too, and I forget how he ended it. But it was something about the Dark Order, and the way he said it, I was just like, "Oh, is he finally like admitting to himself that he's part of the Dark Order now?"
Yeah,
I know he's not officially, but
as him being the quote unquote leader. Although I wouldn't say he's the leader, but
no, they've come out and said, who was it? Someone did an interview, and they said, "No, the leader of the Dark Order is -1." Mm.
But you look at that segment and that promo segment and that talking segment, and then you look at the talking segment and promo segment from Baron Corbin last night on WWE.
Don't compare the two.
No, I'm absolutely comparing the two.
No,
absolutely comparing the two.
Champion for champion. You compare Omega with Roman with
Bobby.
Why can't I compare talking segment here? Why do I have to put it on the level
compare
of
Corbin to Vicky? All right.
Okay. All right. So then, so then I'll compare. So then Britt's promo. You look at Britt's promo in the ring, and then you look at Corbin's promo.
Oh, Britt's above Corbin too.
No, I'm look at
Let's hear about.
Look at what's being done whenever people are given mic time and what those segments are accomplishing. Britt comes out and cuts another hell of a promo.
It was okay. Let's not praise it.
What?
It was okay.
Are you kidding me?
It was okay.
All of her stuff been fired lately.
That
promo was just okay.
It was okay.
Go back and listen to that promo.
I listened to it.
You must have been scrolling on your phone
I listened to it. It was okay.
Or chewing on a peach ring and you didn't hear something properly because you're out of your mind if you say that promo is just okay.
Okay, it was okay.
I'll actually come to the defense of Jason a little bit on this one. It was a good promo. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Was it the best promo I've ever heard in my life? No.
You could tell she's still growing.
She does her job. She's great at what she does. There's nothing wrong with her and what she's doing.
You can tell she's getting there, but I'm saying, like, I need full conviction in your character and everything.
The only other promo that was better than hers this week, and that was on par with hers this week, was her man's. There wasn't another promo cut.
But she knows how to do it too. She's not long-winded. She comes out, she does her stuff, and she's done.
That's it.
You know, and that's exactly the way it should be. Corbin's promo, on the other hand, was very long-winded. That didn't interest me. Not even the fact that I don't like him. It's just it didn't interest me whatsoever. Like,
look at this. The reason why I brought up Omega and Hangman and compared it to Corbin's last night. Look at the story that's being told with the segments.
It's an accessory character. No one gives a damn about Corbin.
I went on that
time.
Though I did go on and support this cause. Go fund Corbin.
You would, you WWE Mark.
It's just a picture. That's all what it is. It's a JPEG picture.
Never mind. Because
did it go on too long? Yes, it went on too long.
Never mind. It'll always be in you'll always have a defense.
Because you're comparing apples and oranges.
No, I'm comparing the fact that the talking segments that AEW does throughout the show. Look at every talking segment from AEW from Tuesday night. You got Cody and Malachi, Britt's promo, Kenny and Hangman, Jericho and Spears and MJF in the back, Santana and Ortiz with Tully Blanchard. Look at all those talking segments and everything that those each segment accomplished something, and each segment furthered the storyline, and each segment got you to the point where you want to see where it goes.
This didn't further Corbin's storyline? You don't want to see who makes it out of obscurity?
The story we're telling is you lost a crown, and now all of a sudden you're broke, your cars are getting repossessed, your house is in foreclosure, and now you're setting up a crowdfunding GoFundMe page.
Well, you must be paying attention because you know the storyline.
Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't do anything.
He loses everything. It sounded like MVP from a while back. Every time he lost, remember he lost his entrance theme and all that stuff.
And the end goal with this is to have you call him Happy Corbin. Come on, dude. This storytelling, like you can't even compare the fact that WWE tells good stories compared to what AEW is doing throughout each level of the card.
Corbin, no, you want to throw Corbin in there.
Look how much time they gave him last night.
Exactly.
That's a lot of time.
That's what you filled your show with. That promo, which led to KO coming out and giving a stunner for a pop.
Did they pop?
All right, move on to the main event.
You gonna skip over Sammy?
Yes.
No, Sammy and Wheeler Yuta was what it was.
My only thumb, but okay, one of my thumbs up. We're just gonna go. Let's go off some bad.
You told me yesterday to cover SmackDown.
There's nothing. There's nothing bad to. Sammy is over. Sammy from where he started till now is leaps and bounds ahead of anything. And again, it goes back to how you book your talent over a course of time. Wheeler Yuta, I've seen him at Ring of Honor. I knew that he was gonna. I didn't think that he was gonna have a long match with Sammy, but what they did in the ring, I want to see more of Wheeler Yuta in AEW. But again, somebody else brought up the point on Twitter is, how many times would AEW give to or would WWE give an independent star a 6-minute match on their main show? AEW consistently does it.
Why are we jumping over to WWE? We were talking about AEW. Talk about the match. The match was good. Real good. A thumbs up for me. You got shit on WWE every single segment.
The whole point of a podcast, Jay, is to bring up stuff to initiate debate.
You weren't going to touch the main.
Everything else, it's just like, oh no, just be a movie critic and just talk just strictly about the movie. Don't tie in anything else. Just go strictly match for match, segment for segment, show for show. And in your instance, stuff was just okay on Wednesday night.
So
Dynamite was
you want to jump
the best show
out of here with me, and then we can just let them go.
Yeah, just cut it from the show altogether.
Yeah, Dynamite was the best show by far this week, and it consistently been the best show.
Okay. But Sammy was good.
This fucking guy. All right, the coffin match.
That was good too. I enjoyed
the coffin match. Yep, yeah. I do. I enjoyed it. But like I always say with Darby Allin matches, can I please get a one-on-one match with him with nobody around the ring, with nobody interfering?
I like the spot that they did with Scorpio though.
It's just like it's always with him. It's always with Darby Allin that there's somebody always just running around the ring, interfering, doing this, doing that. Can the man just have a one-on-one match and just get his true time?
I agree with you, but given the stipulation of the match, I felt like the spot that they did using Scorpio was justifiable.
I like the spot.
It's not like with the TNT title with the run-ins that they had during those matches and I didn't like that. Those should have been standoff, one-on-one matches. You didn't need all that other shenanigans and everything else that they pulled with him for those 3 weeks in a row. I think it was. He was having main events and match of the night on those 3 episodes. I agree with you there. This past week's I can justify it given the stipulation.
I like the spot. I'd rather see Darby handle himself than try and Sting out. But though, I mean, I know you're in front of a live crowd, so you want the
sting, and
but I'd rather.
And it also ties back into them four and how they've been feuding for however long now. So, like, could I have done without it? I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have vastly improved my perception of the match if they didn't do that spot. Like, I still think I would have felt the same way if it was there or if they took it out. So it's not like them. For me, me, myself, and I, they didn't do anything to take away from the match. But I can see the other side of the coin where you don't need it and it's not necessary.
It's just you get that moment where it's like, oh, here's Sting. That's that's it. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it didn't change one way or another. It's just that moment.
No, it's just,
did they need this?
In all seriousness,
What'd you say?
how much longer does Darby have to wrestle? In all seriousness,
man,
They said the same thing about Jeff Hardy 20 years ago too.
yeah,
I know, but Darby's body's not built like Jeff Hardy. Jeff's a little thicker than Darby.
Jeff wasn't thick early on.
bigger than Darby though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fucking the torpedo suicida whatever at the beginning of the match through the ropes on the outside, like when he hits those, he is going full fucking speed.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember Jeff Hardy getting thrown down cement steps either. So
The way he landed on the steps
off of that ego's edge, that was
off the corner.
Man.
That was Sting, and then like any misstep on that coffin drop could have been.
Yeah.
either one.
Like that was definitely not. I mean, I know what it's for, but it was like, come on now.
You had to hit that perfect, or you would
Yes,
just
he did.
carried out.
How bad would that suck if you're Ethan just laying in the coffin just waiting for it? Like when's it coming?
I'd have turned over.
Like,
I think if you look closely, he was cradled up.
yeah,
And the ref tapped the thing was like, hey, it's coming.
yeah, but I mean that match was great. I love the Ethan breaking down the ring and then Darby using the fish hook, and that he like sucked that thing in. You saw his cheeks start to pull out. Like he didn't hold back. He didn't just put it in his mouth. Like he clipped it and yanked on it a little bit. No, but I thought for it being, what'd they get? Like 10 minutes, 11 minutes? Like that was a fast-paced, pace, nonstop action to the finish. The finish, given some of the moves that were done in the match, the fact that Darby jumping on his back with the skateboard was what took him out and ended the match.
I didn't care for that. But then you did the coffin drop, and I'm like, you know what? You redeemed it.
Yeah. Well, he shut the door with 4 minutes left, and I'm like, all right, what's going to happen in these next 4 minutes? And then the crazy son of a bitch gets up and does the coffin drop onto the. Which one was crazier? The coffin drop onto the coffin, or the one with the barrel on his back onto the steps?
I think I'm going to go with the coffin just because I think there was a little bit more room for error.
Which one on the steps?
When he put the barrel behind him.
Oh,
the coffin drop with the barrel and
that one.
Yeah. Was that Havoc?
Steps?
Yeah.
I go with the coffin. On the coffin, it's just like too much.
Yeah.
Like if he would have been like an inch over, that could have destroyed the spine.
The one on the Ethan's edge onto the steps, he got super lucky because of the way that the stairs bent. Because he tried to land on the middle as much as possible, but he caught the V part and it bent down. It could have easily snapped up and could have pierced him.
It made me cringe that part there, not just like him hitting, but like where he landed.
Yeah, like that could have been real bad. Like, because who was it? Sabu back in the day in ECW. He jumped on a table and it spliced into him, or that was RVD. It broke the wrong way, and he got it. It went into him.
Oh, went into ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that was the right match to main event it. Again, I'm glad they decided to pull it from Miami, given the circumstances surrounding everything with the condo collapsing and everything. Smart move by them. But yeah,
this for me. So
you said the show went like that for you?
Yeah. So that's how I felt.
And that's the way it should be, right?
True.
So if you're steady building and you end on a high, that's a good show. It wasn't the
roller coaster.
Not like Raw where you're getting a Phantom's Revenge drop. I'm okay if you got little bunny hops, like the kids Phantom and Kittyland, but if you have drops like the Phantom's Revenge, that's not good. So. All right. Anything else, World of Wrestling wise, that you guys want to touch on? Quick hitters before we wrap up and drink a beer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Paul Orndorff passed away this week. So Mr. Wonderful. I think I saw on social media that he was the last member of the Heenan family surviving. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's 100% accurate or not, but
then people were commenting Brain Busters, Haku. So there's a couple people still left, but I guess from the original Heenan family. But no, Haku was in the original Heenan family. So
no, okay. So then
I thought he was. Mm-hmm.
Mickey James announced this week that the NWA is going to be adding an NWA Women's Tag Team Championship. They didn't say if it'll officially start at the Empower event or not, but I'm sure we'll see more on that over the coming
say that again.
The NWA is going to start an NWA Women's Tag Team Championship.
Okay.
So they didn't say when it's going to start, but I'm sure as we're building to Empower, we'll hear more about it. And speaking of NWA, they put out yesterday, you can buy each pay-per-view for $24.99. So you can buy Empower, you can buy the NWA 73rd Anniversary Show for $24.99 each, or you can do a bundle for $40. Save $10 if you do the bundle for both. Walter, him and his match against
Dragunov,
yeah. They were supposed to have it, I think next week. That's off because Walter has a hand injury, so we'll see if they reschedule that at all. And then NXT is going to get bumped to the Olympics, possibly for a couple episodes.
I thought I saw just 1 week they were going to get bumped for one week.
They haven't officially announced it yet, so it looks like on the one guide that I was seeing, it's 1 week for sure, but depend on they weren't sure about any upcoming weeks after that.
So they're not doing anything that week.
No, they get bumped to a different day.
Okay, all right.
No, they're being moved to Sci-Fi. It'll still be Tuesday night.
Same day. Okay.
They're just moving to Sci-Fi.
All right.
Yeah, same night. They just won't be on USA.
Okay.
AEW officially opened up and signups for their All Elite crates.
I saw that.
There's two different subscription packages, and there's different perks with each one. There's a $39.95 one, which is a quarterly subscription, and then a $34.99 yearly subscription. So you'll get a delivery every 3 months, and the yearly one, there'll be 2 exclusively designed, branded new AEW T-shirts, 1 autographed 8x10 by a superstar, 1 exclusive micro brawler and wrestling figure, 1 exclusive collector's lapel pin, 4 additional AEW collectible items, a chance to win 2 front row seats to AEW Dynamite, and 10% off your shop AEW.com merchandise orders.
I signed up for the quarterly. I figure I'll at least do 1 and see how it turns out.
Yeah, so not a bad deal there.
I did the WWE Loot Crate one for a little bit, and at first it was kind of cool, and then I just kind of got bored with it. It took me I forgot how many months it finally took for me to get removed off of that list. So.
I'm still on it, so
maybe whenever the AEW crate comes in, I'll do an unboxing on here.
All right, I'm good. I don't got nothing else.
Time to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Time to drink.
Chug, 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 chug.
This week's Drink of the Week segment is brought to you by an ice cold beer after doing yard work.
don't have to worry about
Is that
that.
your weekend?
Yeah, I've been avoiding a little side project that I have to do. I got some leftover rubber mulch from what I laid out before, so I got a little area I could fill in with that. So this week's Drink of the Week, we have Great Lakes Brewing Company Triple Dog Dare. It is a Belgian-style triple ale, and it is
Up top.
what's the percent?
Nine.
Jesus, 9. Woo!
And I picked it because I just like the label.
There's nothing wrong with selecting beers based off of the label or the name to review on this podcast.
This would be more fitting for a Christmas beer since it's going off of a Christmas Story. But
Nice aroma. Good Belgian beer.
fucking Belgians.
Bro, we're tasting sodas on my days.
Oh no, don't
Yeah,
worry.
we are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. We have your high fruit punch bullshit that you picked up coming up. I wasn't a huge Belgian beer fan. My cousin bought me a case, a variety pack of Belgian beers for Christmas present, and I liked everything that was in there. So I'm starting to venture more into the Belgian styles and different Belgian beers. This one is good. Like, there's nothing wrong with this beer for me, and the fact that it's 9% alcohol, get the job done real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only thing I really like about this is the 9% and the label.
You don't like the like? What's wrong with the?
I don't get into Belgians. Me and Belgians don't mix. It's for me on my palate. I'm getting a very bitter taste.
All right. Well, with that being said, I know your review is going to be shitty, and so is Jason's. So, 1 to 5 sumo scales. What are you guys giving this for the Triple Dog Dare Great Lakes Triple
1.
Belgian style?
1.
I'm gonna concur. A 1.
I'll give this.
I need to grab a water. I'll be right back.
For it to be a 9, it's not that heavy to me. And
No, it's not.
Yes, it's not at all. I'm actually sucking this down. To be truthful, shoot, I might not make it past. I might not make it after sports the way I'm doing this. But I'll give this a 3. Definitely.
Yeah, I'll go 3.25.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're coming up on the Olympics and they like to give funky scores, I'll do a 3.25. If you like Belgians, this is definitely one to scoop up. I would recommend this to anybody that drinks Belgian style beers for sure.
I don't even drink water, and this shit is way better than that damn beer.
What? This fucking guy. All right.
Where's the Crystal Light packet on in that water?
I'm gonna go without it on this one. This is
Maybe you should change your drink of the week and just start reviewing sodas and juices and fruit punches and all that, since you're not a beer guy to begin with.
mixed drinks, maybe. No.
You know, do a little something different, because you're just shitting on every single beer, even though, you know,
It's all shit.
some of them don't deserve to be shitted on.
Hey, I've got a 3 in there somewhere around here.
The beer that you love the most, you gave a 2.
I still remember that peach one. Me and Chris gave it 4s and that stuff. You're like, I was about to give it a 2.
All right, raise your bottles.
He gave last week a 5, but that was just for ales for ALS.
Raise your bottles, cans, shot glasses, brown paper bags, red and blue solo cups to good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. The best ships are friendships, and friends will always be. Crazy world in the wide world of sports across the board with a lot of stuff going on since we signed off the air last week. Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier fought last Saturday night. McGregor with a nasty broken ankle/leg ended the fight at the end of the first round due to doctor stoppage. Didn't look like he was going to be going to last too much longer in that fight. I think Dustin gained control as that round went on and was starting to look like he did in the second matchup against Conor. So we'll see. I thought this was a make or break fight for Conor as far as if he's done or if he's going to be back. At some point in the fight game, and catches up to everybody. You don't want to see him turn into like Chuck Liddell, where once Chuck Liddell got knocked out once, it was every fight after that. So,
could he fight again if after this is all over? Could he, like with the rod and the plates and everything in his leg? Is that even something that they can clear?
I have no idea, honestly. I don't.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
See, the big thing, and Conor came out this week and released a statement that he was hurt going into the fight, had a stress fracture already in his leg before the fight, and Sugar Sean O'Malley, who gave a performance on fucking Saturday night and peppered Martinu with 200 punches, was dribbling and doing crossovers as he was punching dude directly in the face 200 times. He came out and said, listen, Conor, over the last 3 years, how many leg kicks has Conor thrown? You've done boxing matches with Floyd. You sparred, Cerrone, your first fight back, you won that with a knockout due to a shoulder. Like, how many kicks are you throwing? And the fact that your camp leading up to this fight, you decided to make leg kicks a big part of your strategy. So all those little bones and everything else in your foot and around, your ankle and everything else, like if you're not constantly kicking and working on that stuff, like you're gonna have be more susceptible to injury. And he said himself he's always hurting his feet and ankles and that, like, so I mean, I don't know how much it played into a factor, but that didn't look good whenever it happened. So
like you said, sometimes age just catches up with you too.
Yeah.
But it's time for them to stop talking about it, because every day it's something else with that.
Yeah. So nasty ending there to what was supposed to be an exciting fight, and that bitter taste that you got from that ending, not going off the way that you wanted, kind of carried over into the week with just stuff that didn't sit right with people. What the hell is Stephen A. Smith doing? Like, I know I get it. You're the face of ESPN and everything else, but come on, the comments he said this week about Shohei, and I know he came out and apologized, and also apologized for him, making fun of or butchering the Nigerian basketball team players after they beat Team USA. If that's any other person, are they still on air?
No.
Oh yeah, they're gone.
They get fired. Like, you would have to think in 2021 with how PC everything is, the fact that you said what he said, if that's anybody else making those comments on ESPN, I think they're canned immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
I'm sure people have gotten fired for a lot less.
Yeah, that was Monday was not a good look for ESPN. You had that stuff with Stephen A. Then you get to the home run derby, and the production of the home run derby was the worst thing I've watched, and I couldn't tell you how long. The camera cuts were terrible. The setup was terrible.
Yeah.
The graphics on the screen were terrible. Just everything about it. It's like, come on, what are you doing? Like, who thought that was the best way to present the Derby?
I had to take some Dramamine because I was getting motion sickness.
I couldn't tell you what was going on because I only seen Shohei and Soto.
Man,
then they were doing some interviews during hits. It's like, how are you doing that when not showing the hits going on?
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't tell where a ball went at all until it landed.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't one home run that left the bat where I was like, oh, that's going to right center.
Yeah, they
Like,
had so much stuff on the screen. It was unbelievable how much stuff was on the screen.
The StatCast broadcast on ESPN2 had even more stuff on the screen.
Yeah. They had every single pitch, whether it was an out or a home run.
Yeah, and then they had their average distance and exit velocity and everything else. And Pat McAfee and them were talking about it on his show this week. Like, we don't give a shit about any of that. Like, show the ball leaving the bat and tell me how fucking far these dudes hit the ball. Like,
I'm sure there's people that probably do. That's probably why they did 2 different broadcasts of it.
Yeah, they had like the pace of like how they were hitting. If it was like counting their home runs, like, oh, if you stay on this pace, he's estimated to get this many home runs. His bat swing, his bat speed, like I don't care about that. Like,
who was it? Like, they weren't showing like the actual like ball going. It was just like they showed you the placement of where it was about to go, like the crowd. Just like, and yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't think these people clamoring for these stats are really watching baseball or sports. Need the next gen stats on everything.
But a casual fan like me who doesn't watch games because my hometown team sucks and they need to sell it. For me, the Derby is something I watch regardless, whether or not I'm watching games or not. Like, the Derby is the Derby. I'm going to tune in because it's the Derby. And the fact that you put out that type of production for the event just was like
bad. And then the whole commentary team on there, they were dry. They was like, oh, Shohei hits a home run. Yeah, that's it. Oh, there's another one. There it goes. So dry. Like, oh my gosh. Baseball got issues. They do. They have issues. Production, management, on the field.
Now, did you watch the whole Derby?
I watched the whole Derby.
Okay, so how did you feel about Shohei and Soto?
I enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
To me, yeah, Shohei was the attraction, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want this to sound. This is going to sound wrong, but I'm trying to think of a way to word it to where it doesn't sound wrong. Let me try saying it like this. Like, Shohei's not Mark McGwire or Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he was the attraction. Yes, he was the star based off of everything he's done the first half of this season and everything else, and given what he's done on both sides, hitting and pitching and everything else. But, like, I think there was maybe too much hype put on it.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he went out and exited, that to me was the most entertaining way that he could have went out. Like, and you had to do it in Juan Soto, who's a guy, but like he hasn't hit home runs the way he did whenever he first came up. So like, you weren't expecting that back and forth between them two. But I mean, you can't watch that and say Shohei didn't give you your money's worth, even though he didn't win the Derby.
Yeah,
and then I mean, you had stories like the dude from the Orioles, the fact that he was missed all last year because of cancer and come back and then he's in the finals. Like, that's just that you can't script that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And you have Pete Alonso going back to back. Like, and I thought it was really interesting having him talk about his strategy and how he approaches it and how he wants to go first to set the bar, to put pressure on the guy that's batting second. Like,
oh yeah.
He looked at it like it was a legit game. Like, how can I break this down to give me the best chance at winning? Like, and I thought that was interesting because I didn't think people put that much thought into the Derby. So that was really interesting.
Now, would you change the format or would you keep it?
I don't mind the format. I know why they changed it because it had gotten to a point where it was
people taking too many balls.
It was stale and not enjoyable. I mean, the only other thing at this point that you could do would be like, instead of having a running clock, you have 20 pitches versus 20 pitches or 25 versus 25. And then, if you hit however far, then you get an extra 5 pitches or whatever on the clock.
Or maybe change the rounds up.
What's that?
I said, or maybe change the rounds up. Different stipulations each round.
Yeah, I don't know how much you could. I don't really know how much you could tweak the Derby to make it better. Honestly, like
I seen people talking about people with 30 home runs ain't making it, but I guess it's all who you go up against.
Yeah, I mean, the catcher from the Royals, I mean, he hit 28 and then he was out in the first round because Alonso hit 34. Like, there's nothing you can do there. But
yeah, I don't know if they should do head to head like they do, but like whoever has the most home runs after that first round,
it's like a dunk contest. The top 4 go.
You move on like that, something like that.
Yeah,
like they did back in the day, like that. Yeah, because they used to do that back in the day. Whoever has the most home runs, they move on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I didn't mind the format. Like I just I felt the production and the presentation is what hurt it, not the format and how they had it set up. So
I would like to see the ratings on when Shohei was hitting, and then after he got eliminated, how many people continue to watch.
I turned off.
Yeah, because they hyped him up so much. Everybody saw like, oh, he's gone first round. I'm not watching anymore. So.
And when I turned it back on, somebody had a field injury, snagging balls. So I had to break the
I know the Derby was Sunday night, but not to gloss over the Euros on Sunday. England versus Italy. Shout out Italy for winning in PKs. England misses their last 3 penalty kicks or spot kicks.
Watch that live. Ooh, man.
So you want to talk about ratings? Sunday's night Euro 2020 final was the UK's most watched TV event in 20 plus years, with a peak viewing audience of 30.95 million people.
Oh, I believe that.
The combined numbers are the highest since the broadcast of Princess Diana's funeral in 1997, according to BBC.
You have to compare it. Wow, you have to compare it to that.
Now, not
only that, but it was the highest rated soccer game in the States in history.
Not to jump back, but like, what's like WrestleMania's highest rating?
I have
they
no
don't count
idea.
ratings; they count buys.
They count buys.
It's pay-per-view.
Okay. Because I was just trying to gauge like something that we do worldwide that would garner that much viewership.
That's called the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl would be the only. The Super Bowl would be the only thing that you could.
And what's their ratings?
The highest rating.
I don't know. We can Google that real quick.
But that's interesting because that's not a worldwide sport. So that's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of damn viewership.
Mm-hmm.
So the highest,
just the UK too. So
that's just UK.
That was
just UK.
That's just UK.
UK. 30.95 million viewers just in the UK. That wasn't globally.
Oh,
that was just the UK.
Damn.
So Italy's probably pulling in a ton of people too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then if it was the highest rated soccer game here in the States, then add that on top.
Mm-hmm.
So the most watched Super Bowl was Super Bowl versus New England against Seattle in 2015, with a record 114.44 million viewers.
Okay.
So,
and I know that probably trounced it. Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, when you're adding everybody globally,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you're talking You're talking a third of the audience was just one country.
Mm-hmm.
The Super Bowl was 114. You had 30 million. That's almost a third of the audience was just one country. So you had everybody in. Like, yeah, that was just bananas as far as ratings go. It's unbelievable from that. So yeah, that was interesting there. The NBA Finals are tied up 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tonight. Are the Bucks back?
Jason?
Jason.
They were chanting that at the end of the game the other night. I immediately thought to you, and I'm like, this son of a bitch calls Bucks. I'm not podcasting that week after that.
Contractually obligated to be here.
I'll find a loophole. I'll find a loophole in the clause.
And especially from a person who doesn't watch basketball like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, USA basketball.
Hold on, before we jump into that, just real quick with the Bucks and Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my take so far. Right, they say a series doesn't start until a team wins a road game. Right, so right now both teams have held home court. Nobody's won on the road yet. So obviously, if that plays out over the course of the series, the Suns win the series in Game 7. They win 4-3. Right. Mm-hmm. My big thing is, does Chris Middleton show up on the road? Because that's the
X factor.
That's the X factor here. Yeah. Not taking into account how injured Chris Paul is, because his left hand is fucked up. He's that left hand is legitimately hurt. He was making turnovers and passes that he doesn't normally do. As you saw in the fourth quarter, I think the entire fourth quarter, he didn't dribble with his left hand once. So you have to see how that plays out the rest of the series. But if Middleton shows up and gives you if he gives you half of what he scored on the road, Milwaukee may walk away with a chip this year. And I don't know too many people that would have said that after games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But
we was on here last week saying, Suns are about to just take this.
Well, and I brought that up last week. I said typically your role players play better at home, and I said Middleton will come home and he'll play good because he's at home, but will he show up on the road? Drew Holiday, for whatever reason, is just he can't buy a bucket this series. His shooting percentage continues to just be atrocious. So you're going to have to rely on Giannis and Middleton to be those two consistently every game, because when it's Giannis by himself, they lost. You saw that in Game 2. He put up 40 points. They lost. Game 1, he scored over 35, and they lost. So if he doesn't have that second person there, they're not going to win a game. But we'll just see how it plays out. But Game 5 tonight, it'll be interesting. I'll be watching. And then we'll see. I don't like the long layoffs in between games in the finals.
No.
I get it. They add an extra day for travel and rest and all that, but I don't know.
I like every other day.
I don't.
You got to
used to be right every other day. And
he said back to back to back to back. As soon as the game's over, take that plane. I'm playing tomorrow.
Competitive.
USA basketball.
USA basketball.
Ooh, man.
Men's
so they lost to Nigeria and lost to Australia. Got a win against Argentina. Their second game against Australia was canceled due to Bradley Beal getting COVID. He will not play with the team in the Olympics. Jeremy Grant was being held out as a precautionary measure. Kevin Love pulled out of the Olympic team due to a soreness in the calf, so the token guy pulled out himself. And then they announced JaVale McGee, and I don't even know who the other dude was. I don't even
Kendall Johnson. I never heard.
Yeah, I've never even heard of them. So those two will be taking the place of Love and Beal. Listen,
Nigeria was working them. I watched that game. I'm not a big basketball person, but I like Olympic basketball. But man, they were working.
I know there's players that are playing in these finals that are going to be on the team, but like, you beat Nigeria by like 55 points and then by like 45 points, and now you lose to them. They don't win the gold. If the USA basketball team doesn't win the gold in any Olympics, it's going to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how the rest of the world is, and the rest of the world has caught up to basketball in the U.S. You can look around the league and see how much international talent is in the NBA. Luka is obviously one of the best players in the league. So that just goes to show you right there. You had Dirk for all those years. Like they definitely have caught up, so to speak. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I have no idea.
Because even the women's lost yesterday too to Australia.
That's another head scratcher.
Yeah.
A couple quick hits in the NFL. I'm not going to touch the Richard Sherman topic. We'll leave that alone. I was on here a couple of weeks ago with the wrap up of Mental Health Month and everything. Hopefully, he gets the help that he needs. He made a statement and released a statement yesterday, explaining some stuff, but we're not going to go into that. But I did want to bring up a topic here, one close to home topic, and then another one on a broader scale. The one close to home, Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher is driving the initiative to have him and Dick LeBeau call at least one play in the Hall of Fame game against the Cowboys. So he said, let me call one play. Let me call one play. Let me call one blitz. I'll have Dick LeBeau with me too. We'll call one blitz, see if we can get Mike to run one. It'll be fun. So, hey, I'm all for that. Hey, come down and call something. Let them do it. Why not? It's the Hall of Fame game. It doesn't matter. Let them do it. Have fun with it. I think that would be a nice
homage,
tie-in, present to the past, and so on and so forth. So let him call it. The other thing that was the big announcement this week, and it came on 93.7 The Fan. Troy Polamalu was on this week, and Troy doesn't do interviews, so the fact that he was on a Pittsburgh radio station doing the interview was a big thing. He announced that he will be returning back to Heinz Field this year. And coming back to games. So it looks like the bridges and that were damaged, and I don't want to say burned, but the way that he left the Steelers and the way that relationship ended at the end of his career, I'm glad to see things patched up, and he'll be back in the fold at Heinz Field this year.
I want to see his mind back in football altogether.
Troy?
Yeah.
I'll put him out there as safety.
Important wisdom. Let's put him out there. Him and Minka together. Let's put him out there.
Yeah, like Troy for me is probably, he would definitely be 1 or 1A of my favorite Steelers of all time. I didn't see the Jack Hams and
the 70s,
all the 70s Steelers. We had Greg Lloyd and the Kevin Greens, but I was still younger then, so like I didn't really know that much about the game. You know what I mean? For me, you had Polamalu, Hines. I was a huge Casey Hampton fan, but Polamalu for me is 1 or 1A as far as my favorite Steeler of all time. So I'm glad that he's mending those relationships, both sides, him and the Steelers, and getting him back in the fold, because that's somebody that you want around your organization for sure.
For me, it was Boston and Troy.
I like Rod. Yeah, it's probably Troy and Rod for me.
And then the other thing that I saw from the NFL, and this comes out from 93.7 The Fans Twitter account as well. The NFL is to play the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing from now on before major sporting events like the Super Bowl. It's not replacing the national anthem, but it will be played along with the national anthem. Thoughts? Anything? Nothing? Big deal? Much about nothing?
I've seen people on Facebook going crazy about it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of hate.
Yeah, but we won't touch that.
There's somebody else that's going to be using that too, and I forget where that was, but that was causing some backlash too.
It doesn't matter to me. I'm just ready for the product on the field. That's all I'm there for.
Honestly, to me, I tune both out. Sorry.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that they decided to do it along with going forward. Well, we don't get into those topics.
Yeah,
we like to keep it light and airy, light and fun. We don't want to, cause ruffles. But I guess I don't know. Is that good that we don't go into those things, or are we doing a disservice by not talking about them? Just in general, it doesn't necessarily have to be with this, but like we tend to stay away from those types of topics. And there's 4 of us, and we're both equally represented on this show. But I mean, is that something that we should discuss, or do you think we're doing the right thing just from trying to keep it, more on the positive side of things than dealing with?
Sometimes I don't feel like I have enough input or information on everything to talk about stuff like that. So that's why I tend to steer away from it, or just like stay away from it. But I mean,
I just steer away from it altogether. Yeah, just because it's just more drama. I mean, I know it's serious issues, but it's just more stuff for people to talk about that could lead to other stuff. It's just like,
and then sometimes living it, you're just like, let me just get away. Let's talk sports or something like that. Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I think whenever you see stuff on social media that you just sit there and go like why these people have an opinion on this? Like, and that's, we're not, at the end of the day, we're kind of like an entertainment podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, we're just here we're here for 2 hours just to take your mind off something.
That's it. Yeah. You see it 24/7 all the time, but just for 2 hours, just
stay tuned for dumb politicians.
They're already out there. We won't touch that topic because there was one individual in Texas this week that said something that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But we won't touch that. All right, to get us back on track. Last 2 things, quick hitters here. Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler, UFC signed, delivered, 5-round fight, September 25th at UFC 266. Everybody excited for the return of Nick Diaz?
No,
not really.
Wow, really?
No.
Honestly, I don't know Nick. I know Nate.
It's to me, it's like wrestling. It's names from the past. Like, I'm done with you guys. I'm done. I'm here for the newer people.
Legends die in Dawn's world.
Like, I'm done.
And then
how long has it been since his last fight?
Nick, Robbie Lawler hasn't fought in 2 years, and Nick, I would say, is probably 4 to 5 years, 4 to 6 years.
Sounds like a Bellator fight, not a UFC fight.
This needs to be a Triller fight.
Speaking of Triller, I was going to wrap this up for a segment. Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley agreed that the loser will get the winner's name tattooed on them.
See, we got dumbass stakes.
Yeah. Is it time for one guy to go?
And that is This Week in Sports. All right, one got to go this week. Me, myself, and I will come out with the W like we do each and every single week on this episode. So what do we got this week?
Oh, not last week. Because all the people on social media thought that Age of Ultron was the one to go.
I didn't see that at all. Your social media is different than mine.
What'd you see?
And I was right. Endgame was one
because right there, because people don't know what they're talking about.
All right, what do we got?
This week was Donald's pick.
So I did rap debut albums, and
Oh my God.
And all of these albums were 5 mics on the Source magazines.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Now there was other contenders, but there was a ton of other contenders, but I pulled these 4 from it. Because I wasn't going to put Biggie's Ready to Die on there because everybody would keep that. So I'm trying to make it interesting.
Definitely would have kept that.
Oh man. For me, just looking at this list, and this is great that you brought this up because I just watched the history of hip hop on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody has Netflix and you're looking for documentaries to watch, that's a great 4 seasons.
Okay, really, told me about
really
that.
Good.
I gotta watch that.
Well, which one is it?
The history of hip hop.
Okay, I need to catch that. This is pop.
Yeah, history of hip hop. It's 4 seasons. Each season is, I believe, 50 minutes long, but really good. Breaks down, how hip hop started all the way through to, current era. Touch on a lot of stuff. Hit each region and how certain people influence each region and individuals that you wouldn't think influence others. It was just really done well. And this was Nas's Illmatic was brought up as and talked about on that, as being one of the best albums ever. For me, I was a Nas guy. Illmatic was crazy the first time I heard Illmatic. Dre and the Chronic, another one for me. Just the whole game-changing album that was. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. I'll never forget being at my grandma's house, sitting outside on the porch with my boombox, having the volume down as low as I can. So my uncle didn't come outside of the house and beat my ass for listening to. So yeah, and then Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Jay is Jay, but I'm not a big of a Jay-Z guy as everybody else. Although there's a couple songs on that Reasonable Doubt album that I just go to for just a daily listen. This is honestly this is such a personal preference thing because all 4 of these are just fantastic albums.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one got to go. For me, I'm gonna say Reasonable Doubt.
As much as I'm a Jay-Z fan, I pretty much can quote the Black Album, Blueprint 2, Blueprint 3, front to back. But I never listened to Reasonable Doubt. Everything is ingrained in my head, the other 3, so I'm gonna have to take Reasonable Doubt off.
This is not my wheelhouse.
I like this, Chris. I like this.
I honestly, there's 2 on here that I've listened to the full album. That's Chronic and Doggy Style. I know some songs on Reasonable Doubt. Know some songs on Illmatic. I kind of agree with you, Steve. I'm not as big of a Jay-Z fan as a lot of people. So for that reason, I'm gonna do Jay-Z. Gotta go.
We are going to get killed on social media.
To me, he's the greatest rapper alive right now, but you got to kick his first album off.
For me, I go by these albums by how many songs do I skip through. And Illmatic, I cannot skip through a single song on there. I love it to death. The Chronic, that was the first album that actually brought me into the West Coast type of rapping, so that will never go anywhere. Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, that is just like what Steve said. I remember when I bought the CD and the little pamphlet in the inside has some explicit stuff, and my mom wasn't too fond about that. But I know every single song, every single lyric to that album. I played it so much. Jay-Z, I love Reasonable Doubt to death. I know all like every song on there, but I can skip through different songs through Reasonable Doubt. So just off of that, Reasonable Doubt have to go.
Clean sweep.
We're gonna get canceled.
Biggie might have made this interesting.
Hey, but honestly, Donald, for you putting this together, like the fact that they're all within 4 years of each other, they all had 5 mics. Like this is as evenly of a matchup as you could get, stacking things up to where it's literally just going to come down to personal preference because all 4 of these albums are great. There's no questioning that. It's just out of the 4 rappers, who do you like the most? And unfortunately,
and I had different stuff too when I was coming up with it. I had like an all West Coast one, I had an all East Coast one, but I figured just blend them all together. I mean, blend 1 and 2 together. But the 5 mics were the ones that I was going for. You had to have 5 mics to qualify.
Nope, I'm good with this list. That was a good debate there. I'm surprised that we all agreed and went with Jay. Honestly. So I won again. Me, myself, and I picking up another W on one to go.
We'll see what the people say this week.
I'm like Goldberg. I'm undefeated on this segment. 108 no. You're gonna need a cattle prod to take this win record off me. All right, let's go. Let's wrap up the show. I got nothing. Final thoughts. I'm gonna tune into the NBA finals tonight. Slammiversary as well. Money in the Bank tomorrow night. Rob will be interesting on Monday, especially with Goldberg's return. So, kick off the road to SummerSlam with Goldberg against Lashley.
I guess we'll get into the live fans being back next week. We'll wait for Raw.
Honestly, out of all the shows where fans were going to be back for the first time, and literally everybody all came back. You had AEW, ROH had fans. Impact's going to have fans tonight. Pay-per-view. Raw, to me, is going to be the most interesting show with fans back.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. I might watch it just because of that. But I just have one thing. Mia Yim and Shane Thorne, they regained their regular names back. So
that's good.
They're not
from Mia especially.
Slapjack and whatever she was.
Reckoning.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave for being an AEW mark throughout the show. And rest in peace, Biz Marquee. The
Friends. How many of us have him? Friends.
Picking boogers, the vapors. There's just
Yeah, Biz Marquis touched on that history of hip hop too. Like I said, definitely go check out that docuseries. That was done really well. So rest in peace to him. Shout out Bully Ray, 50th birthday this past week.
Wow.
So yeah, 50th birthday. Happy birthday, Bully Ray. Yeah. Anybody got anything else before we wrap up and get out of here?
Rumor this week that Daniel Bryan might be heading to AEW.
That is the rumor, and I hope it's true because he'll debut on the first ever Rampage here in Pittsburgh, which we will be attending.
That would be awesome.
I believe it till I see it. Don't believe it till I see it. Stuff like that.
They put him in the fans' back package, so I think he's staying.
We'll see. Who knows? But there will be something big going on that show on August 13th, which I cannot wait. So if you guys are down there and you see us, come up to us, say hello, say hello.
Come on,
interact. We'll film some stuff down there live. Obviously we can't film the show, but we'll do some stuff on scene. We're going to both shows Wednesday and Friday.
If you see me rush the ring and tag a legend.
So you're saying we should all bring a change of clothes just so we can't be associated.
with that, follow us on all social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Email the show, dumbmarkspod@gmail.com. Go over to Pro Wrestling Tees at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. We got 3 shirts up right now. The classic logo Chris has on, the One Gotta Go that Donald has on. We had the After Dark shirts on last night, so scoop up a shirt, get a shout out on the show. We got some different ideas floating around here for some giveaways that we'll be talking about in the near future. Anybody got anything else to plug or say before we wrap up the show? Silence is golden. And with that, this week's quote of positivity comes from Plato. The highest form of knowledge is empathy, for it requires us to suspend our egos and live in another world. And with that, you're a Mark, I'm a Mark, tell a Mark. Thanks for tuning in to the Dumb Marks. And until next time, you can catch us around the way.